for anybody, I know we have a lot of people that are also in different countries, which is awesome, but sometimes that can be a little bit difficult. So we want to make sure that everybody gets this in terms of the recording. Now, I like to start all of my calls with some wins. So drop in the chat a win that you have had since you have started this challenge. No win is too small. So you could share big wins, you could share small wins. Maybe you've been consistent for the first time and you hit the gym 3 days in a row. Maybe you just hit a new PR because you've improved your form. Maybe you stuck to your meal prep. You were grocery shopping with like a plan, like literally any win, drop it in the chat. Again, no win is too small. What is my win this week? Oh, I have been waking up at 5 a.m. to work out. Love that. 5 a.m. is rough. I did my sprints today. I felt like I was going so fast. Ooh, yay. The sprints are fun. I've actually been, so I played soccer like my entire life. I don't know if you guys know this part of me, but I kind of stopped running for a while. And then when I got back into running, I was like, oh girl, like running is fun, but like you're not that good at it anymore. So that's why I started to incorporate it because it just brings back that inner athlete. So I'm glad that you like that. Up my confidence trying new exercises at the gym. Love that. Anything specific in terms of new exercises that you've tried?
Yeah, doing some of the weight work, especially the squats where you put the bar on your back. Sorry, the name's slipping my mind, but
Okay.
going up to that rack, in the past it's been intimidating for me, but having the exercises all laid out, being able to check the form beforehand got me to yeah, give it a try, and I really liked it.
I love that. I'm so happy for you.
Oh,
Yay.
thanks.
Cool, cool, cool. So we'll take that as the first win. And then now you can start like, now we put 5 pounds and now we put 10 pounds. And then we start increasing from there. I love it. What do we have here? Upping my steps with my walking pad. I just got a walking pad this year. Hack. Life hack. All right, cool, cool. So I'm gonna share my screen. If anybody else has some wins, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat. If anything resonates with you during this call, feel free, like hype it up in the chat as well. So I'm gonna share my screen. We are gonna talk about, hopefully, can everybody see my screen here? Cool, cool. So what we are talking about today, how do I open this up? I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I work on a computer all day, but it still gets to me. So I'm just gonna leave it right there because I clearly can't make it the whole screen. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about 4 secrets to breaking plateaus and achieving the body that you can't stop thinking about. Has anybody ever experienced like you try something new, you're seeing progress, and then we hit like that sticking point? And it's like, where do I kind of go from here? Like, okay, I want to lose this amount of weight and now that's not working anymore. Or I want to be consistent in the gym and then something happens and we kind of just hit these sticking points. What I want you to start channeling from here, and I want this to be like an interactive thing for us, is when we think achieving the body that you can't stop thinking about, right? Strength wise, nutrition wise, body composition. I want you all real quick to like just stop, pause, close your eyes if you have to. I want you to picture yourself in a year. This is who I want you to start channeling for the rest of the call and also for the rest of this challenge, because that highest version of yourself is who we want to channel, right? Is who we want to act as. So I want you to picture yourself in a year. Let's say everything went perfect for you. Fitness, nutrition, you absolutely crushed it. You went in, everything just started coming to you exactly how you wanted it to. Where do you ideally see yourself? Physically, mentally, emotionally, relationship with the journey? What is she doing? Where are her habits? How is she putting on her clothes? How is she showing up to social events? Right? Start picturing her. So right now you guys are probably like snowballing. I can picture myself like a couple years ago, just imagining like that highest version of myself. But I do want you to start channeling who is the 1 year version of me? What is she doing on a day-to-day basis? How does she feel in her clothes? How is she acting? How is she showing up to meetings? That is exactly you right now. So here is where we're going to start channeling her. And we need to break through these plateaus that we might hit and prepare for them so that we can continue to work towards and achieve that 1 year version of yourself. All right. So, okay, cool. Now, what are plateaus and why do they happen? You might know this already, but a plateau is when progress slows or stops despite consistent effort. All right. So you're doing the things you've tried all the things, and then boom, we just kind of hit this wall. Causes for that is adaptation. Your body is a very beautiful thing. And just like cardio, you ever do cardio for like 20 minutes and at first you're absolutely dying and then you get really good at it, your body adapts. So what happens is it starts to, or it stops burning as many calories as it would to those 20 minutes of calories of cardio, right? So we adapt. We adapt to calories, we adapt to workouts, we adapt to all of these things. Those are normal, right? Not bad. Repetitive routines, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, or complacency. My favorite thing is hearing like, oh, I tried intermittent fasting like 5 years ago and it worked really well for me, but like I've gained 10 pounds. And I'm like, so did it work really well for you if we weren't able to sustain it? All right. But like these are the things that we realize like, oh, I tried a keto, I tried like F45. I don't know. I'm just throwing out certain things, but we get into this complacency that like that worked. If it didn't stick, it didn't work. And another thing for plateaus and sticking points is mental fatigue. Anybody feel like they have a lot going on a day-to-day basis? You got work, maybe you got your kids, maybe you have your partners, maybe you have social events, like people are texting you. You just have a lot going on a day-to-day basis. And that is, I would put that at number one as like why we hit these roadblocks. So that's what I want you to, this call today is really just opening up to that. Opening up and having awareness that there's nothing fucking wrong with you. Sorry for my language. It's probably gonna happen like 7 times because I curse all the time, but there's nothing wrong with you. It's not you, it's the plan. All right. Now, the mindset trap. We want to avoid going in pity mode. Oh my gosh, I can't see results because it's me. I'm not good enough. I can't see results. My body, my metabolism. I used to say that I had a slow metabolism all the time. All the time. It was just my metabolism. It was too slow. All right. Plateaus can mess with your motivation. So we hit these sticking points and whatever, I'll just stop now. Or I'm not seeing results in the gym. I won't even go. Instead, when you are feeling stuck, how can we shift into power mode? Right? And focus on what you can and should control. I put can and should there intentionally because I know that you can control going to the gym more and doing more cardio and eating less food and like all of these things, but those are things that we shouldn't. You shouldn't be doing more and eating less. We should be doing better and eating enough to reach our goals, right? Focusing on the things that you can and should control. Use these challenges as feedback, not as failure. Maybe you've experienced this already with this challenge. You try a meal prep and you're like, that didn't work. I should have not meal prepped on Wednesday night because I didn't have time. I should have meal prepped on Tuesday night. That is feedback, not failure. And a lot of times we take that as like, oh, meal prep is just not for me. I cannot achieve this. No, Wednesday meal prep is not for you, but Tuesday night meal prep can be. So again, I'm not this pity mode. I call it a pity party queen. We are more so in control and we are in power. So how can we focus on the plan, not the emotion? Focus on the plan, not the emotion. Write that down, put it on a post-it, put it on your wall, put it on your mirror, wherever you got to put it. So the beautiful thing about right now, we're about to get into the roadblocks in a little bit, is that we are in an age of convenience for your goals. It has never been easier to achieve your goals because one, we have social media. If you design your feed correctly, you can be surrounded by inspiration all the time. You have accountability. I have a friend that I literally text every morning. I'm like, I have to text you by 5:10 because I need to wake up at 5. And if I don't text you at 5:10, then I am not showing up for myself. And that's, you can see our text message is like, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's an accountability, right? Met her on social media. We kind of just connected on that sense. And then finding the source, even how you kind of found me. You randomly scrolled across like around my video, boom, now you're in a 14-day challenge. My clients will just find me on TikTok or on Instagram, boom, and now we're making a life change. Online communities, just like you are now, right? Sarah's here supporting Maria. Maria's here supporting Claudia. Claudia's here supporting Crystal. Like we are a community here. You have double the services, right? Before, when we didn't have these conveniences, we had to get nutritionists and we had to go to a trainer 7 days a week. And that was too much because we can only go 3 times a week. And then we have all these sources. Now we just have it in one spot. And the most beautiful thing about this age of convenience is that flexible schedules. I train at 6 a.m. Maybe, Crystal, you are going to train at 9 p.m. I'm going to be asleep. Claudia is training at 2 p.m., right? I'm just throwing out numbers here. But the beautiful thing that you're going to notice is you've done this challenge on your own schedule. And that's how it should be, because it's going to make it easier for your life. Now, what have we done so far? We've built a solid foundation. That is the point of these 14 days. Solid foundation. I will never post on like social media, like, hey, come join me for 14 days and you're going to lose 10 pounds. No, but we're going to set the solid foundation so that you can achieve those goals, right? Now you've got your meal plan, which is great. You start implementing that. You're implementing the core four. I love that. My mom tries to like have something on her plate. I'm like, I don't see a four. I don't see a veggie. So you're implementing that now. Whether you change the pasta for rice or the wrap for something else, that doesn't really matter, but you're implementing the core four in every single meal. You're meal prepping and you've got that workout introduction. You've been super, super consistent. So this is what you've built so far. This is this seems like easy stuff, but it's something to be very, very proud of. Now, the reality is these things that we've implemented, we have to understand that doing the same thing for the next 6 months is also not the best option for you. If you take this meal plan, you're like, set, can't do it for 6 months. Imagine eating the same things for 6 months. You probably can't even do it for 4 weeks, right? So we eventually get bored. Same thing with the workouts. We hit plateaus, your body adapts, we see fewer results. So now when we're hitting this point, again, I want you to start tapping into, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not a failure. I can see success. It's just because, okay, now my plan's getting a little boring. I'm hitting this plateau. What can I adjust from here? So how can we strategize? If you truly want transformation, genuinely want it, genuinely, I'm talking genuinely, and I say it with a lot of passion because some people say like, yeah, I want change, but they don't really want to change. It's a fear of change. Change is scary, right? If you genuinely want change, how can I overcome future obstacles? The holidays are coming up. You can achieve success during the holidays without going to a holiday party and saying no to the freaking pecan pie. I love pecan pie. But you can achieve those things. My family, I come from Colombian culture. Christmas it should be a month long. And you can still achieve these goals during the holidays, but it will be a roadblock. And it's something that we have to overcome. Make sure that you plan for it ahead. Cravings. You crave a cookie, you crave some pasta, you crave a bagel. These things are also going to come in. Don't shut down. We're not pity party. We go in control and we follow the plan. Busy schedules. Things might come up. Your kid might have to, something happened and you have to pick them up early for school. They completely got shut out. Or somebody calls you, they need XYZ, you have to work late, whatever the case may be, your schedule might change. How do you pivot? Social events, unmotivated days, because that happens, especially for us. We have hormones. Our period, every single week is going to be a little bit different. Some weeks we're on top of the world and some weeks we really don't want to do anything. Again, these are things that we might hit, but we have to learn how to overcome them. All right, so our goal is making these 14 days a forever thing because you have proved that you can follow steps. You have proved that you can set a foundation. So now the next steps is how can I make this a lifestyle? If you can do it once, if you can follow a meal plan, I'll even start from the very beginning. If you can log into the app, that means you are able to get the instructions for what am I supposed to do for my meal prep? And you were able to get the instruction for how do you take your progress pictures and how do you use the app and how do you do your first workout. You're proving to yourself that if you can do one thing, you can do the next. And now the thing that we're going to do this weekend is getting into tracking your calories. I'm going to send you that. And I'm going to teach you how all the methods of the madness is going to work and how we're going to set that foundation. But you've already proved that you can do the first nutrition plan, so you can do the next step. And now you can do this forever. Eventually, it's not going to be so much information at once. It gets easier. But again, you're just setting that foundation. If you can do it once, you can do the next steps, you can do it forever. You've already proven that to yourself. How did I go? Okay, now overcoming the roadblocks and plateaus. One of the beautiful roadblocks that we will hit is cravings. I have a sweet tooth. I talk about it all the time. That's why I have a pancake like every other day. So cravings, how can we overcome them? One thing is I was going to put like a bunch of different options of cravings because some of us have like a salty tooth craving and we crave chips. Some of us have like sweet tooth cravings. Some of us have like carb cravings and we like want like a bagel or like a sandwich. I'm not so concerned with the actual craving, but I want to guide you through how you can start to pivot and how you can find different alternatives. So even after this call, if you're like, hey, Nicole, like my craving is usually X and this is where I usually go wrong, like let's talk about that. You can shoot me a message. All right. So for example, one thing that you can do is like protein yogurt. I do Greek yogurt with a banana, some granola, because after lunch, a couple hours later, I'm usually hungry for a snack and I want something sweet. Instead of going for like a cupcake that's not really going to fill me up and I'm not hitting my protein goal, I'm going for something filling. So protein yogurt is a simple adjustment. All right. So how can you in these 2 weeks feel, how can I adjust to those cravings and come up on top? Right. Now, of course, again, this is not something that's going to work forever. So, something that we're going to learn is long term, how do you actually fit them into your calories? Because this week, maybe you're like, okay, pizza is not really in my meal plan, and I'm not really going to sway away. I'm just going to like stay focused and I'm going to follow it. But eventually, pizza will be something that you want. Maybe your family wants to go out, or maybe you're ordering in, or maybe it's a cookie, like whatever the case may be. The next step is now, how can I learn to fit those into my calories so that I am still hitting, let's say I'll throw numbers out here, 1600 calories, and I'm having a 500-calorie pizza and it's fine. And I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I just messed up my meal plan. What did you mess up? You literally hit your day perfectly. You didn't even go over your calories. It's just one pizza. It was just one cookie. That's something that we have to learn long term. And my favorite thing of same thing with the cravings is I feel that cravings, they start to kind of seem more extremes. And I'll bring it back to like my sweet tooth. Does anybody else have a sweet tooth? Like you just kind of like want a cookie. And do you ever, this is how I used to do it, but like I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna have a cookie. No, I'm not gonna have a cookie day 2. No, I'm not gonna have a cookie day 3. And then day 4, I'm like 4 deep. Like I need all of them, right? That is not something that we want to do. So over time, we have to learn, how can I incorporate this more into my diet so that those cravings no longer control me? I control it. I have a box of cookies in my house. That's not something that I was able to do when like a couple years back. Right. Over time, I want everybody to commit to this part here, increasing your calories over time, and all of your cravings are going to fit. Can we commit? I will not be in a calorie deficit forever. Please, I will not be in a calorie deficit forever. And I will not try to be in a calorie deficit forever. There is nothing that is worse for your goals, for your cravings, for your relationship with food than trying to be in a calorie deficit forever. And I know that some of us are kind of living that way, right? I get some girls that like, hey, Nicole, like I've been eating 1400 calories for the last year. Should I eat 12? And I'm like, you've been eating 1400 calories for the last year? Girl, we got to talk, right? We got to adjust. That's why you're hitting the plateau. You've been eating 1200 calories, right? We want to be hitting eventually 2100 calories, 22, 2300 calories. That's scary, terrifying, right? Yes, I used to be terrified of going into the 2000s, but it is something that is healthy for you. So again, knowing that that's somewhere that you have to go long term. Next, time. Another roadblock that you might hit for this next 2 weeks, you have your workouts. Are they planned into your schedule? If they are, they're done. You just got to show up. As long as they're in your schedule, they're done. Right? Meal prep. What day are you grocery shopping and what day are you meal prepping? I personally have 2 days. I do a Sunday and then I do either a Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Those are my 2 meal prep days. I meal prep for half of the week and then the other half of the week. That works for me. I have clients that do completely different things. Setting boundaries, protecting your time and energy. You have committed to these next 2 weeks to put yourself first, but it does not end here. So over the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, setting boundaries is going to get a little bit more difficult every single time. So this week, it's, hey, tell your partner, I'm committing to this challenge and I have to go to the gym 5 times a week because I really want to do this for myself. And I can't go out to eat too late on Sunday and I can't hang out too late because I want to come home and I want to do my meal prep, right? That's when we start to set those boundaries. Your friend invites you out for drinks and you're like, no, girl, I have to go home because I want to go to the gym in the morning. We start setting those boundaries. Boundaries over time become more difficult. People don't really like change and they don't like when you change, even though you want to change, right? And I deal with this. Well, I've dealt with this a lot with my friends. I deal with this with clients when they're like, their friend wants them to go out for drinks or their partner is so used to like eating out all of the time and now we're creating new boundaries. That's something that we have to overcome, right? And then a long-term thing that comes with time is pre-planning. Did you notice that this week is a lot easier to show up to your like checklist because you have it in your schedule? Now, if you don't have it in your schedule, you will not be as successful in the future. So this is not just a habit that you're doing for a 14-day challenge. If you want to be successful over the course of the next 6 months, what is the pre-planning? What are the workouts? What is the pre-programming that you're doing? And then it's a checklist. Boop, 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 boop. Cool. Now we are working towards your goal. So you've already figured out the schedule. Now it's the time, or it's the plan. So you can all say it now. It is not a time issue. It is a planning issue. Okay, it is not a time issue. I don't have time to track my calories right now. I have lunch, I have a meeting in like 2 minutes. Should have done that last night. It's not a time issue, it's a planning issue. Okay, so if you run into this over the course of time, Nicole told me it's not a time issue. I just didn't plan properly. And then we start to become more successful. What is the plan? All right, another thing that we might overcome is calorie plateaus. I kind of like talked about this a little bit, but it's like 1,600 calories and you try to do that for the rest of your life, right? Right now we set the foundation. You have your initial calorie targets, which is a big step, right? And you're starting this. So you're inching into like, cool, this is my foundation. But again, I don't want you to feel like tracking doesn't work for me, calories don't work, my metabolism is slow. If you hit a plateau, understanding that it's not you, over time you do have to program them, right? And the most important thing, I don't know if anybody on here, I feel like it's kind of split. Some people like tracking their calories. Some people are like, I don't really want to do this forever. If you're somebody that's like, I don't really want to do this forever, getting it done with. Fat loss is a phase. Where we raised our hand before and we said, I'm not going to be in a calorie deficit for the rest of my life. Fat loss is a phase. If you really want to do it, just get it over with. And then you won't have to track forever. But those comes with the phases. The intro, the foundation that you've set in these 2 weeks, cool. Now it's the adjustments, and then it's the increase phase, and then it's in learning intuitive eating. But all of these goals that you have, you can be successful in them. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just the planning. So this is all just like opening you up to, we're not going into pity party mode ever. Now, over the next 2 weeks, again, you've set the first steps to breaking through. Use this to build momentum and understanding and set the tone for continued growth. I put understanding in that because like when I first started tracking my calories, I literally just picked one number and like I just did it until like I forgot to track and then I stopped tracking. But I didn't know that I was supposed to adjust. I didn't know that I could split my meal prep and it didn't have to be like that bro on fucking Instagram and they have their Tupperwares all set out. I thought that was the meaning of success, right? So now you have that understanding that it's not you, it's your plan. It's not your cravings, it's how you're fitting them into your calories. It's not your time, it's the planning behind the time, right? You are using these 14 days, can we all commit that we've officially set the foundation to our journey? Yeah, let's go. Love that. So, next thing is, do you believe you are worthy of achieving the body and lifestyle you desire? Yes? Can we say it loud and proud? I don't care where you are right now. I want you to say it loud and proud. I believe I am worthy of achieving the body and lifestyle I desire. I'll pretend I'm listening to you right now. Yes. I believe I am worthy of achieving the body and lifestyle I desire. That seems like so cliche, so self-love, so self-affirmation, but it really is true. It's like when you're doing so many things for all of these different people and you're like, wait, what am I giving to me? Because you're seeing your worth as like what you give versus what I'm giving to myself. You are worthy. There's nothing wrong with you. You can achieve the body and lifestyle that you desire. Now, the next question for you, because we've all committed that we are worthy, that highest version of ourselves, that 1 year version that we just pictured like 10 minutes, 20, oh shit, a couple minutes ago, that 1 year version that you just pictured, do you trust yourself to follow through? I had a call with my girls yesterday and I kind of like we did a whole thing of like rebuilding self-trust. And sometimes we think like, yeah, I trust myself. If you set an alarm for 6 a.m. and you wake up at 6:20, you just broke trust with yourself. It's subtle. If you said that you were going to put your phone down at 9 p.m., but you're scrolling until 9:30, you just broke trust with yourself. If you said you were going to go to the gym on Wednesday and you didn't, you just broke trust with yourself. Imagine you had a friend and you're planning all these things with them. Hey, girl, let's get coffee. And oh, shit, they're 30 minutes late. You'd be like, that's annoying, right? Or they don't show up, or they cancel, or last minute, you don't even know if they're going to show up. Would you make future plans with them? This is the same thing that we're doing with ourselves. If you tell yourself you're going to be at the gym at 6 and you get there at 6:20, that should genuinely piss you off because you've built so much self-trust within yourself that you know that you can show up. And we have to become that person. And when we trust ourselves, we take infinitely more risk. Because if you trust yourself to go to the gym 5 times a week, then we can also trust ourselves to start that new business that you wanted to try, or get out and apply for new jobs that you've really been wanting to do, or go date, like anything. If you trust yourself in one area, I have this like crazy mindset that I can literally do everything that I want in my life. But it is true because I trust myself that I can just show up to the gym. That's how it started 10 years ago, Nicole. And somehow I'm here running my own business with employees. That's fucking crazy. But it started with just trusting myself to go to the gym. So I know it's very dramatic, but if you see yourself as worthy of achieving this, you have to trust yourself that you're going to wake up on time, that you're going to hit your workouts, that you're going to hit your meal prep, that you're not going to let these plateaus like get in the way, that craving does not control you. You control the craving, that you will follow the plan, that you'll do the checklist. Do you trust yourself? I trust myself. Yes, I trust myself. Claudia, I'm looking at you. Thank you. And you can start that tomorrow. I had a client yesterday. She's like, I'm gonna work at 6. I'm like, you better not get there at 6:01. Get there at the time that you said so that you develop this self-trust that you know that you don't fucking miss. And I love that. All right. So as a recap for today, couple obstacles that you will at some point hit throughout this journey. Again, these 14 days are the foundation. What are you going to do when cravings start to hit? We have to plan for those. If you want to plan a cookie into your calories, that's great. I have chocolate every single day. My favorite is the Tony Chocoloni's chocolate bar. Oh my God. If they're at Whole Foods and like honestly in a bunch of different places, I have it in my house every day. I grab a piece. It goes into my calories. No big deal. Not doing anything wrong. Time might be an issue. How are you planning for that? How are you adjusting your calories over time? What is the plan for that? You have to sit yourself down. What's the workouts? What is the progression? Simple plan for success. Right? Now, of course, I will give you guys this. If you want to learn how I do this for my Project Fidget Girls, just message me. Even if it's something so simple like, hey, I have this craving for like chips every single night. How would you go about this? Just message me. If you want more information on actually doing this for the next 6 months, just message me. I'm here. I'm literally your coach for the next 2 weeks. So my DMs are there. We're having conversation. I've spoken to a lot of you, but just message me because I want you to genuinely understand that this is just a process. And you are equally as successful or you are equally as capable as success as any fucking person that you see on the internet doing whatever transformation that they're doing, or squatting 135 when you're like, damn, I haven't even gotten under the barbell yet. Like, I kind of want to do that. You are equally as capable of doing that as long as check, 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 check. You start just hitting your steps. And you've already proven that you are capable because you just hit another check today. You made it to this call. All right. As I end every single lesson that I've probably ever done, my favorite mantra, remember that food is love and strength is power. You trust yourself. You're in control. You are not a pity party queen. You are an action taker. You are in control. Whew, that is it for today. I'm getting hot. I get hot during these calls. I get like fired up. I love it. I trust myself. Yes. Love that in the chat. Can we all put, I trust myself that I will follow through with my goals? Put it in the chat. I trust myself. That's a scary thing. If you put, I trust myself, and you make a goal that you're going to go to the gym 4 times a week, you better show up. If you set a goal that you're going to lose 15 pounds for your health, you better show up. And I promise you, you hit one goal, and you'll hit another and another and another and another. Claudia, I trust myself. If you put will, it is not in your power. That is something that is still out of reach. I trust myself.
Yes, I do. I do. I have to. I see that it comes back to that. I have to trust myself. I know that's a
Just
big
say it.
thing.
Just say
I
it.
have to.
I trust
I
myself.
trust myself.
There we go. There we go. It is much more like self affirmations, the way that we speak. Another thing, like this is an example. I never let my clients say try. When they're like, I'm like, hey, can you just hit 10 extra grams of protein? Or like, I know you're sick right now. I just want you to do this one thing. They're like, yeah, I'll try. I'm like, try or do? Because try just made it seem like you might not. It's all good. But do is different. Once you say, like, yeah, I'm going to do that, you're going to start doing it. You trust yourself. I will trust myself means that at one point or another, you might do that in like the next couple of months or the next couple of years, but it's not so urgent that you're actually going to do that tomorrow. If you see on my story, like it's very cheesy, but I post like woke up as the highest version of myself. It's not because I wake up for fucking rainbows and butterflies every day and the day is so beautiful. No, but regardless of the day that I'm having, the morning that I'm having, I am always showing up as the highest version of myself. And I tell myself that every day so that I can show up as her. So a little bit of affirmation. So I love this. Okay, that is it for today. Do we have any questions either on today's call or honestly on anything that we've done over the last week?
Hi, I have a question. I just want to say thank you so much for like just giving all this information and especially that it's like available and free. I really appreciate it. So, after the 14 days, will the workout still be available for me to do after?
So you won't have access to the app anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just for like my clients. If you guys notice, I have like challenge member just
Yeah.
because I need to like kind of keep track on like both ends. So after the 14 days, then you won't have access to the app anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you know are in Project Vision,
Sorry.
we continue with this journey for the next 6 months. Just saying.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No, but I'll hit you up on your DMs privately for that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
We'll talk there. Something that I do want you to do. This is kind of random, but it just kind of came to my head with the app and like the workouts this week. Make sure you guys are putting in your weights, like the weights that you're doing, because next week we're gonna have those workouts again. And I want you to already come in with the foundation of like, I did rows for like 20 pounds. That was actually really easy. I need to start with 30s this week because I ended up working to 30s. So next week we're gonna see like that transition for the workouts and how you can start to lift heavier. That's like super random. I don't know why I thought of that based on what you just said. Do we have any other questions, Maria?
But I have something to say.
Yeah.
I've been working out for a while now, honestly, for a very long time. And I think I always talk to you about this. Like, I wish somebody would have told me back then not to be in a calorie deficit for 4 years, because I wasn't eating no more than 1850 for 4 years. And that just completely like fucked my whole metabolism up. And I stayed stuck at between 175 and 185, but I wasn't gaining muscle. I wasn't really like doing nothing. I just looked the same. So I just wish somebody would have told me, like, bitch, get out of this fucking calorie deficit. You need to eat more. So a note to all you guys, it's not fun being in a calorie deficit for fucking 4 years. Eventually that became my maintenance that I learned now talking to Nicole. But yeah, it's not fun not eating. I love eating now though.
Food is love. Food is love.
Food is love, yeah.
Yeah. That is similar to what you just said. Like she was in a calorie deficit for so long. Eventually that really just does become a maintenance because your body just downregulates. And it downregulates in the most annoying ways. Like you'll literally just blink slower or talk slower or like not do this with your hands. And like when I learned that, I was like, I can't believe that I've just downregulated so much that like I'm like dancing in the car and I like randomly clean my house and like I'm all over the place, but like naturally my body just burns a lot more calories. It takes a while, but I would say at one point all of you just need to be either in the 18s or in like the 2000s, the 22s, which is scary. That's the scariest part of the whole journey, but it's so fun. What's the main reason for being in a calorie deficit and how do you transition? Do you mean transitioning out of the calorie deficit or transitioning into the calorie deficit? Out. Okay, cool. So the main reason for being in a calorie deficit is when we want to do a fat loss phase. So this is where I say like adjustments. We go into this calorie deficit and then we adjust it over time. That depends on like how much weight you want to lose. So like some people will be in a calorie deficit for 16 weeks. Some people will be on a calorie deficit for 20 weeks, right? Some people will be in like 2 calorie deficits. For example, we have a client, Rhonda, she's lost like 80 pounds. So in terms of those 80 pounds, we want to split those up into 2 different calorie deficits. So that's something different, but a calorie deficit is just for fat loss, right? How do you transition out of that? That's going to be slowly increasing your calories over time. So when we say like, cool, I usually ask my clients, or like I'll say like, hey, let's say you've lost 30 pounds. Do you want to continue from here? Or like, do you want to start fueling more and like learning how to maintain? Then they'll usually be like, oh, like, okay, I'm good here. I don't want to lose more weight. This actually, I feel very comfortable. How do I maintain this weight? And then we want to start increasing over time. But it's slow, similar to you how I'll put it this way. If you've been eating 1600 calories and when you're in a fat loss phase, technically your metabolism is like down regulating. It doesn't want to change. Your body doesn't want to change. It wants to stay exactly how it is, right? So it tries to fight you, and that's when it down regulates. When you're in a calorie deficit, have you noticed sometimes you're a little tired or you get a little hangry? That's normal. That's your body just kind of like telling you like, hey girl, don't change, please. I just want to stay right here. And you're like, no, I'm trying to get snatched, right? So when we start increasing over time, if you go from like 1600 calories to like 2100 calories from 1 week to another, your body's metabolism won't be able to sustain that. So that's when we increase it over time. So just a little insight on that. What is this? Let's say you want to have pizza night. I love that I brought up pizza today because tomorrow's Halloween and every year my mom orders pizza for Halloween. So I might just show you guys how I do that. Or go out to eat. What's the best way to track this? Considering a slice is 3 to 400 calories, and I usually eat many pieces, basically all my calories for the day. Try to eat less. Yes and no. Eating less, if you're eating like 4 slices, yeah, that's portion size. But something that I just recommended to one of our members is she kind of said the same thing. She's like, I always do like pizza night with like my friends, and that's like our thing. But like I kind of skipped out last week, and I'm like, I don't want you to skip out. What if instead you're having like the 1 slice and you're pairing that with some type of protein? She's plant-based, so I'm like, just cook up some tofu and like bring it with you. Your girls literally don't care. So like, can you pair the slice of pizza that you're ordering out and we still get that pizza, but you're getting full from the protein as well? Because pizza doesn't really fill us up. It's just kind of like fats and carbs. So that's how I would go about that. And that's honestly what I'm going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to go about my day pretty regular. I'm going to have pizza, but instead of having like 3 slices of pizza, I'll probably have like 2 and then like some protein with it. So that's what I would recommend. Also, eating out. This is kind of like, it depends. If you're eating out like once a week, I don't really have my girls track. I'm like, just track your day, fit it in, and like go out to eat. Like, just be mindful and like follow XYZ, and you'll be fine. But I don't want you to go to dinner and you're like, do not ever pull out your phone at a restaurant or a dinner. If so, if you do, I did not tell you to do that. I am not your coach, right? So if you are planning eating out, if you're only going out to eat once a week, I wouldn't even track it. I would just be mindful and like leave space for it. Did I answer your whole question? Yeah, going out to eat. You can track it in advance. Yeah, you're welcome. If you know like what you're gonna have, there's some places like if I'm getting, I love like poke bowls. If I know I'm getting a poke bowl, it's like rice and like whatever I get on it. If I want to track it in advance, I can put it in my app, but sometimes I'll just like leave space for it. Do we have any other questions? No, we're good. Okay, cool. If you do have questions after or have feedback, I love feedback. Want to touch on anything, want more information on how we plan out this process and how we go about that transformation with my girls, shoot me a DM. If I don't answer you today, it's because I'm about to be past my bedtime because I'm a grandma, but I will 100% answer you as soon as possible. So yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Next week, we will have the same call. We're going to do a different topic so that we can start to take that next level. This weekend, I'm going to send you guys information on how you can start tracking. You can even put it with on the chat. Has anybody tracked calories before? If you have, please raise your hand. Yes, yes. Or you can put no in the chat. I'm genuinely just curious to kind of like see where you guys are at. Yes. Okay. And actually, I'm going to ask you one more question if you want to put it in there. Is there anything specifically that you've ever struggled, like knowing what to put in or what to track? If you even want to send me that in a DM, you can. But I want to make sure that the way that I'm going to teach you guys how to track is going to help you simplify it. I know when I first started tracking, I felt like it controlled my ever so being. We don't want to do that. So I want to teach you frozen foods. Okay. All right, you're going to get that this week. I'm going to teach you guys how to track and then how to follow your meal plan, but meal plan is going to stay the same just to make it simple since you've already had that structure in those recipes. Next week, we'll have another call and then we'll continue to crush this week and next week. Cool. Love you guys. See you guys next call or in the chat.